Hello everyone, welcome back to my Let's Replay channel. Once again, this is Andrew T coming at you. And today we're going to be doing our vlog review of Magicka 2 and of Diablo 3 Necromancer edition. So first, Magicka 2, like we always do, that's the first one I did. It was a couple days ago, so I was having some problems with my monitor. For like 3 other games I tried to record, it was just blacking out and then turning me back to Windows, and then when I got back, I knew it. If it was MS-DOS, it was a whole thing. But anyway, got Magicka 2 up and running. Great game. If you like the first one, the mechanics are really good. Health average is another one where you put in a button sequence, and then whatever happens, and there's tons of variations and combinations you can use while you're playing. So the first one was very good. That it was done by a small studio, and that the humor was on point. The gameplay mechanics were great. The co-op was awesome. It was definitely YouTube bait in that it was something funny you could do with your friends and collaborate with other channels to just go to town and play through it the first time and just have hilarious hijinks and fun. And this is a little bit more of the same. Even though when it did come out, it kind of was already done before on YouTube, so it didn't get a huge amount of press the second time that it came out for the sequel. But if you like the first one, the gameplay and mechanics are pretty much the same. The humor is right there as well. So I would say if I had to, just from the little bit I played, because it was one of those things where I did it for the video because I liked the first one, but after I got through the tutorial at the end of the video, I immediately, deleted it and went on to another game. Because it was one of those that's good to go back to if there's nothing really else to play, but it's not something that I immediately went, oh my gosh, I gotta play this again. Because I remember from the first one, the frustrating thing about it was when you got to the later levels, most of the spells you're using, even if you moved around and tried to use tactics as much as you could, unless you use like a lot of stuff to kind of counter the enemies near the end, it was really hard to move on from there. So I was like, I don't really want to get to that place again on this game because there's only one difficulty. There's no really way you can lower it or raise it. So I was like, you know what? It was good the first time. It's a little bit more the same the second time. So I'm just gonna delete it. So if I had to score it, I have to give it about a 6 out of 10. Just because it is above average. The gameplay mechanics are still good. The humor, story, voice, graphics, all good. Still good to this day, even though it's not a brand new game. But just the fact that you kind of have to have other people to enjoy it fully. And near the end, the first one, and it's probably the same thing for this one, not a whole lot has changed. So not really innovative, but for replayability, and this is a replay channel, yeah, I have to give it a 6 out of 10, especially for the price that I got it for less than $5 on the Steam sale. It was good to pick up, good to have in your library. So for that reason, that's why it gets a 6 and not anything higher, because it's not AAA. It's not anything that I'd say go out and buy right now because it's that good, and it's not middle of the road. It is slightly above average for what you're getting. So that's why it's getting a 6 out of 10. This, like I said, this is just my opinion. I don't have really a review rating system for every game. It's pretty much dealt with nostalgia. How much replayability does it have? Is it still worth the money at this point? Just all those factors kind of go into it. And I'd say for the sale that's going on right now, if you like the first one, go ahead and pick it up. But otherwise, it's not something just a first-time person to the genre would just say, oh, I gotta get this. But if it looked good and it looked funny to you, the storyline and the humor might be able to carry you through. So, like I said, 6 out of 10. I think it's a pretty decent score for the sequel to a pretty good game. So now we're going to move on to Diablo 3. Now, this is by far a replay type of game for me. Like I said, I got the very first Diablo 3 on PC. I still have the box in my closet back there, and the original discs for it. when it first came out for PC, and that's how much I loved this game. It did get a lot of samey and repetitive after a while, but that's the thing, because you can beat it so fast after a while from all the stuff you can get, even before the real money auction house went away, that you could pretty much blaze through the game and do almost every single side quest and dungeon and side dungeon. Even though it's randomly generated, it's the same map, but it just shifts a little bit for some of the locations that are on the map. So Necromancer is fun. It is a fun character. I haven't had this much fun with a character since the Crusader came out. And the Crusader I loved because the voice actor, he's a great voice actor. If you've ever played Dragon Age 2 and Fenris, like, that guy does a great job. Plus, he did other ancillary characters on Diablo 3 before they gave him a major role in this one. So you still recognize his voice on there, but that's the last time I had this much fun playing a new character. Like, Diablo 3, the Barbarian was the very first character I did, and it was okay, but I didn't really like the mechanics of the rage, having to, attack someone constantly just to try to get your energy up. Same thing for the Demon Hunter. I was like, he's okay, but he's a little bit too far away. The Mage was a glass cannon, but fun to play. Just his stuff, you could just make tons of combinations that were just for his abilities that were just really fun to play. The Witch Doctor, he's kind of like a poor man's Necromancer in that he had a lot of summons, but that's all he had. Like, his regular attacks were just garbage near the end of the game, because you'd have to rely solely on your summons to do most of the damage and keep you alive while you kind of chipped away at the higher bosses and enemies, especially on New Game Plus. Who am I forgetting? Either way, if I'm forgetting right now, then there's probably only one or two I forgot. But yeah, the Necromancer is the main focus of this one, and the Corpse Explosion may just be the most OP ability I've ever seen, because there's no cooldown on it. So you kill one guy in a group, immediately use Corpse Explosion on him, kills every other guy, and then you can chain that to anyone else that's coming towards you. So I was like, alright, just wait to come closer, bam. And then your summons, once you get to like level 7, you get like 6 or 7, you get like 7 skeletons that just appear. I was like, what's going on? I'm like, there's just skeletons appearing in their mind, and I'm not summoning them like I did with the Witch Doctor. So I was like, this is awesome, because they just go around killing everything, and then you can upgrade that to a Golem later that does more higher damage, but it's just one guy instead of 7 individual weaker skeletons around you. So I played it for another hour and a half as soon as I was done with the video, just because even though it was the same levels and the dialogue for the people we're talking to doesn't really change. Like the Crusader, it did change slightly in the dialogue option, not the option, but the dialogue you had and some of the things you talked to them about. This one hasn't changed any yet. So I am still doing all the conversations. I did kind of skip over that just for the video, but I did go back and start to talk to the NPCs and your companions as when you get them, on their backstories and all that, to see if there's any major differences. And I played the game so much that I know if one line has changed. And so far it hasn't, but it's the beginning of the game, so maybe they added just a slight change for whoever they had on hand for this expansion. And it's $15 for this expansion, so for just one character, you'd think it'd be like 5 or 10. But for 15, that's about what Blizzard does, because they don't lower their prices at all, no matter how old the game is. StarCraft 2, I think, is still $60, which is ridiculous how old that game is. Same thing for Diablo 3. It's like $50, $60 game, and then the expansion on top of that. Like, yeah, it's the reason why they make money, because it's still worth it. It's still worth it for me to get it day one. Other than that, though, if I had to get a replay value on this, Diablo 3 has aged so well, and they update it so often with extra content, maps, areas, dialogue, storyline, characters. They always update it, so I have to say for replayability for this one, right now I have to give it an 8 out of 10. just because if you like the game and you're still playing it to this day, if it's still in your library, then something keeps you coming back. And this character is definitely going to add another, 30, 40 hours at least. Just going through the game, getting your character leveled up. If you're a season pass guy, then you can, use them for the season pass. I haven't used season pass 1, and I've spent hundreds of hours in this game. So, yeah, just from the New Game Plus and all this other stuff you can do, from the bounties and everything else, this game keeps you coming back because I want to see what more loot I can get and what other options or, combinations I can use with my characters. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend picking up the Necromancer, even for the slightly above average price of $15, just because it is worth it. Anyway, that's all about that I have to say about that at this time. And until I go through the whole thing with the Necromancer, can't really give a full-on opinion, but just for what I'm playing right now, I'm having a blast. It looks like he's a very well fleshed out character. I've been waiting for a Necromancer since, Diablo 3 came out for him to make this character, and apparently everyone else has too. So, once again, thank y'all so much for watching. As always, this is Andrew T coming at you, and y'all have a good one.